what have been your biggest learnings, if I can ask you, both in your podcasting journey as well as now with the WYN Studio? What have been your biggest learnings?
I think some of the learnings, has been looking at my own career and things that I have done. Number one would be focus on one thing and stay true to it, because with the internet there is a new shiny toy that comes our way almost every single day. Today it's something else, tomorrow it's going to be something else, and the day after it's a completely different thing. And if we get too distracted with a lot of distraction that comes our way, it's very, very difficult for us to succeed in one thing. For the past 5 years, I've just stuck with one thing, and that is podcasting. Nothing else, right? I've just consistently, if you go and look all over my social media for the past 5 years, only one thing that I talk about is podcasting, my podcast, and and everything that revolves around it. And that's what I've been completely focused on, and my effort, time, and energy has been on just that one medium, right? So that, I think, is something that I have observed in so many other people who have done really good in their respective domains. They are not distracted with something else, right? So when I started, podcasting in 2017, and let's say TikTok came in, and I said, okay, now let me get on the TikTok, and then Clubhouse came in, okay, let me get into the Clubhouse and stuff like that. If I kept hopping from one place to other place every few months or every year, then I don't think I would have been able to really do well in any of those different mediums. So that's first, focus on one thing and stay true. Try it long enough. A lot of us give up a little too soon. We tried for 3 months and we're like, okay, I don't think this is working. Give yourself at least 6 months. I know that 6 months might look like a long time, but it is not on the grander scheme of things.
Absolutely.
And there is no pressure for you to make it in a year, because there's immense pressure for us to figure everything out in our early 20s, or maybe by 23 you should have figured out what you should be doing. If you are not, then it's okay for you to take that extra year. If you look on the macro level, which is assuming that most of us are going to live for at least 80 years, and by the way, with the advancement in the science and technology, we all are going to live much longer than 80. But assuming that we all live 80 years, if you take that 2 years or 3 years to figure out how the rest of remaining whatever 50, 40, 30, 70 years of your life, don't you think those 2 years or 3 years of figuring out is worth to figure whatever you want to do for the next 67 years of the life that you're going to live? So I think and then all of a sudden that 3 years of time that you're going to take to figure out looks like a very small time. So I'm asking about 6 months. Try something for 6 months, and before you can even make any conclusion or think that it doesn't work. So that is the first one that I would say, focus on one thing. Second is surround yourself with some of the people where you can constantly learn and get inspired by. Now, I give my example of me wanting to get into media, but I went for an advice, but to the people who have never been in media. And all they said was, hey, what, I don't think this is something that you should be doing. So never take an advice from somebody who haven't done it, and always surround yourself with people whom you want to be like, and not necessarily you need to physically surround yourself with. Surround them on your Instagram feed, surround them on your LinkedIn feed, because that's where we are spending a lot of our times, right? So fill your Instagram feed or LinkedIn feed or YouTube feed or whatever, Facebook feed, with the people whom you want to learn, or the kind of mindset that you want to get in. Because when I was at my work, like how most of the corporates are, not generalizing it, but a lot of corporates, how the culture can sometimes become toxic, right? Here I was at my organization, during the day I was complaining about everything. I was complaining about my boss. I was complaining that they were not giving pay rise. I'm complaining about the food in cafeteria. I was doing all of that. And then in the evening and on the weekend, I would come and interview people who are doing some of the amazing things, who are building companies, who are writing books, who are summiting mountains, who are full into spirituality. They would talk about the purpose, the mission, serving humanity, solving problems to make everyone else's life easier. And I was blown away, with how these people are completely operating in different level altogether. And that allowed me to also, absorb a bit of that and then build that kind of mindset and, get out of the complaint and, the kind of ecosystem, right? Second, surround yourself with people who are constantly, who sort of gets you, who understand what you're trying to do. Most people don't. So that's the second one. And the third one, and again, just to add to the second one, is also when you're surrounded with all these people, and whenever you get an opportunity to meet any of these people, spend time with these people, go for it, because the more people that you are going to build a support system, and that support system is going to really help you push forward. So that's the second one. The third lesson that I will say is know what you are doing. And again, the first one is I said, focus on one thing and figure out. The third thing is also know where you want to go. Path you might figure, but always have the vision on what you want to build for yourself, your family, and and the world. So I think those would be quick three lessons that I would say.
Fantastic. I think simply put, you have created a very purposeful life for yourself with a very clear direction about what you want to achieve, and you're just following that as a passion, as a purpose for your life. I think that's absolutely well said, and I'm sure it will resonate with most of the young children who are going to see this, or their parents who are going to see this.